Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose. The man who rules the world runs into the irresistible force of a man with nothing to lose in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get the regular and variant editions of John Haynes, the man with nothing to lose on Amazon.com today. A California social media influencer in the process of divorcing her husband was shot and killed by her husband outside of a sushi restaurant.
We're learning more about what led to a deadly shooting spree over the weekend in the IE. 2 people were shot and killed outside a shopping center, followed by an off-duty deputy taking out the suspected gunman.
And Eyewitness News reporter Leticia Juarez is live in Fontana with new details on this story. Leticia.
Well, I'll tell you this, David and Giovanna, we've learned from police that at the time of that shooting, there was plenty of law enforcement in the area, most of them off duty, enjoying the night with their families. But unfortunately, they were unable to do anything about the shooting that took place just outside the sushi restaurant, telling us that it was a domestic violence situation where a woman in the process of getting a divorce was tracked down by her estranged husband, who then shot her and her date here in this parking lot.
We gain all this weight during our pregnancy because we're not taught how to properly eat.
Social media influencer and fitness coach Gloria Zamora inspired busy women to get and stay fit. But behind the strength she exhibited on camera, her personal life was taking a hit. Zamora spoke out about her pending divorce to her thousands of followers just last week on the Horizon podcast.
Instead of you being supportive, you're over here trying to just bring me down, bring me down.
On Saturday night, the 40-year-old alongside 43-year-old Hector Garduno was shot and killed outside a Fontana sushi restaurant.
There was a male and a female that were estranged. They're going through a divorce that led to this.
Investigators say Zamora's estranged husband, Thomas Alberto Tamayo Lizarraga, gunned down the two in the parking lot.
We don't know how he knew where she was at, but apparently she had been at the restaurant for approximately an hour prior to the shooting.
The shooting caught the attention of several off-duty law enforcement officers in the area who responded to the sound of gunfire, including an off-duty San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy.
Apparently he was driving on the street outside of the shopping center and heard the gunshots and saw what had happened, made a U-turn at the light and got out of his vehicle to confront the suspect.
Lizarraga was shot and killed during the confrontation. In a GoFundMe page set up for Zamora, her daughter stated that her mother was murdered by her stepdad. Both victims leave behind children. Zamora, a mother of 7, is described as a woman who uplifted others, while Garduno is remembered as a hardworking and devoted father of 4 girls. Now, we spoke to police about the ongoing investigation. They are gathering information. As for the off-duty deputy, they are not releasing his identity at this time. We can also tell you that according to the National Domestic Hotline, women in the process of leaving or separating from their intimate partner are most at risk for domestic violence. Reporting live here in Fontana, Leticia Juarez, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Now, in this alleged incident that took place in Fontana, California, 40-year-old Gloria Zamora was out on a date with Hector Garduno when her ex-husband, Thomas Alberto Tamayo Lizarraga, confronted them at the sushi restaurant where they were on their date. And as Thomas Alberto Tamayo Lizarraga allegedly confronted Gloria Zamora and her date Hector Garduno, he took out a firearm allegedly and then shot and killed Gloria Zamora and Hector Garduno, then looked to flee the scene. And as he looked to flee the scene, he wasn't aware that there were multiple off-duty officers in the area, and when they heard the sound of gunfire, an off-duty San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy then wound up confronting Thomas Alberto Tamayo Lorzaga, and as he confronted the suspect, he wound up shooting and killing the suspect. And after shooting and killing the suspect, then an investigation was done as related to this situation, where Gloria Zamora, a mother of 7, has left behind 7 children, and Garduno, who was the father of 4 girls, has left behind 4 daughters. Now, the Fontana police see this as an isolated incident, but when I take a critical examination of the alleged behavior of Gloria Zamora and her ex-husband, Thomas Alberto Tamayo Lorzaga, it definitely fits the pattern and profile of feminist indoctrinated women that I talk about in my book, The Woman Crisis, and it also fits the pattern and profile for beta males that I talk about in my book, The Man Crisis. And this whole situation between this divorced couple basically was one that led to a great tragedy because this woman, Gloria Zamora, really didn't understand the clear and present danger that was created by her going out on this date as she looked to talk about divorcing her husband. Now, Gloria Zamora was a social media influencer and a fitness coach who inspired women to get and stay fit. And as she gained popularity on social media, she really didn't see that her husband was basically simmering and boiling in anger, because he was watching his wife receive attention. And as he saw his wife receiving attention, he possibly was getting really jealous because his wife was out here on social media getting the attention of a lot of people. And as Gloria Zamora was getting this attention on social media, she was looking to possibly participate in her hypergamy after having 7 children. After having 7 children, she was possibly looking to elevate her social status because she saw herself having all these people looking at her on social media. And as she came on social media, she was getting a lot of followers. And as she got those followers, this is where she possibly, again, got her head gassed up to the point where she thought she could do better than her husband. And as she thought she could do better than her husband, she was presented on social media basically bragging about looking to divorce her husband. And as she looked to go out here and divorce her husband and bragged about divorcing her husband, she couldn't see how she basically had gone out here and was making this man turn into a man in crisis, because when she bragged about this on social media, she was emasculating her husband, and that husband was simmering and boiling in anger already about the attention she was getting from other men online. And as she was again getting this attention, he was seething about this, and then compounded by the emasculation of having this woman brag about divorcing him online. This is where this man was again seething with anger, and eventually he wound up, when his woman decided to go out on a date with another man, go out and explode in rage. And as he exploded in rage, he looked to confront Hector Garduno and Gloria Zamora at this sushi restaurant, looked to go out here and confront them in a way to try to reclaim his masculinity after being humiliated and emasculated. I mean, this man was basically angry about this whole situation because he felt like he had nothing to lose, because he had lost everything as related to face, as related to his entire family. I mean, this man, who was the father of 7 children, lost face in front of his family, lost face in front of his children, because this woman not only was bragging about, again, divorcing him, but she was also looking to go out on a date with another man right in front of him, in front of his kids. And this guy basically took that final disrespect and felt like he had nothing to lose. And as he felt like he had nothing to lose, he basically didn't care at this point and looked to take the life of this woman and the date that she was on. And what's really sad about this situation is that this guy, as he did this, wasn't really, again, critically thinking about all the other people who would suffer. No, all he was thinking about was sating his feelings as related to the humiliation and emasculation situation that he had suffered as a result of this whole situation. That's all he was thinking about regarding this situation. And when I look at this whole situation, again, it's a really sad one because, again, 11 children don't have their mother or their father in this case. I mean, 7 children don't have their mother and father, and 4 children don't have their father, all because a dude got in his feelings. But this whole situation possibly did need to pop off had this woman not gone out here and instigated this entire event by, again, bragging about this whole situation online. Now, this whole situation basically shows the dangers of getting involved with people who are in the middle of a divorce, and one of the most dangerous situations for a dude to get involved in is getting involved with a divorced woman. And it's a very dangerous situation for a man to get involved with, because when it comes to many of these divorced women, what's happening with those men that they're involved with is that those men have soul ties still connected to that woman. And because they have already had sex in a marriage, basically this man has his spirit and DNA still inside of that woman, and he still has a bond with that woman. And seeing this woman, again, betray that bond, that's what stimulates the emotions in these men, and that's what makes these situations really dangerous, again, getting involved with a divorced woman. And sadly, in the case of Hector Garduno, he didn't understand the clear and present danger of getting involved with a woman who has been divorced, because, again, that man still has feelings for that woman. And this guy basically had strong feelings on Thomas Alberto Tamayo Lizarga. This guy had really strong feelings for this woman. And again, this is why smart men don't get involved with divorced women, because that woman already has a man that she's already with. And again, and if she has children with that man, again, this is not an optimal situation or a good situation for a man to be in, because this guy, again, has a lot of feelings, and again, he's dealing with a lot of hurt feelings. And as he's dealing with all these hurt feelings, again, you are being seen as someone who's destroying his world, and as somebody who he sees as an enemy. He's looking to take his feelings out on you because he can't take them out on her. And he knows that there's consequences if he goes after her, but she will go after you. And that's what makes that situation, again, a dangerous one for a man to be in. Again, the last situation you want to be in is one where you are out here with a divorced woman or a single mother. I go in depth on this in my classic blog and classic videos, why real men avoid single mothers. And the same thing can be said for divorced women. You don't get involved with no divorced woman. No, you don't get involved with a divorced woman, because that dude still has feelings for her. That dude still is in the picture if there are kids involved. And the last thing you want to deal with is this dude. No, you don't want to deal with this dude, because he already has a connection to her, and she'll never be able to bond with you personally. So the last place you want to be is in any situation where you got to deal with this dude and all of his insecurities and feelings of inadequacy. The last place you want to be is dealing with this dude. No, you don't want to deal with this dude and his nonsense or the drama regarding this woman. Again, when the case of this woman, Gloria Zamora, again, she was out here getting attention, and again, getting attention on social media. And as she was getting this attention on social media, she couldn't see, again, that danger she was in, because when it comes down to some of these beta males, again, they don't really like seeing their woman on social media getting attention. They don't like seeing their woman getting likes and all of this stuff. No, they don't like seeing that, and they won't say anything for a long time, because they look to try to support their woman on the outside, but they're passively but aggressively, they are just, again, really ticked off. And I believe that's possibly one of the reasons why they wound up divorcing, as related to him, is that he couldn't stand seeing this woman. And as this woman was thinking she was going to outgrow him, she thought she was going to be able to move on, but she wasn't going to be able to move on, because, again, when it comes to beta males, again, they are very possessive, and as they get emotional, and this is what makes this situation dangerous. And again, when these guys get angry, they act on their impulses, and they look to get even, and they look to make this woman pay, because they never really loved the woman. They love the idea of the woman. And because they objectify women, they look to destroy the life of that woman in an effort to sate their feelings. And that's what this guy thought he was going to be able to get away with, because he didn't know that this whole area was filled with a lot of off-duty cops, just going on with their weekend. And as he was out here looking to make his escape, he ran into this San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputy, who wound up again taking his life. And as he wound up taking his life, sadly, what happened here is that we have all of these children who basically have no parents, all because Gloria Zamora, again, really didn't understand how dangerous she was playing with fire. And this guy, again, didn't understand that if, when it comes down to, again, these situations, you've got to navigate through your emotions. Yes, you can have the feelings about being angry about this woman disrespecting you. Yes, you can have the feelings about believing that you're emasculated by this woman and her getting with another man. But you got to think about a larger picture of, again, being a man of character who will go out here and look out for his children by continuing to show an example of being a good father, showing a good example of being a good father. That's what this guy should have been thinking about taking care of his kids and possibly getting custody of his kids, and then charging this woman to the game and letting her go on that road to bust downtown. That's what he should have basically done, because, again, there are more important things than looking to sate your feelings for a moment, because when you look to sate your feelings for a moment, it can wind up destroying your life for a lifetime. And that's basically what happened here to all 11 of these children, from Gloria Zamora's 7 children to Hector Garduno's 4 daughters. Their whole lives were all changed because this ex-husband of Gloria Zamora basically wasn't having the discipline and resolve of a man. And because he didn't have the discipline and resolve of a man, he basically created a situation where 11 children will be on the road to sadly becoming children in crisis, all because their parents were basically just couldn't, again, know how to work through a divorce. And as that man and woman in crisis went out here as related to this situation, they didn't know how to conflict resolve. And as they didn't know how to conflict resolve, we saw how one man in crisis destroyed the lives of over 14 people. Now, if you want to learn how to identify the behavior of a feminist indoctrinated woman and be able to help someone, again, understand how this behavior is dysfunctional, you can pick up my book, The Woman Crisis, on Amazon.com. And if you want to help someone break out of the paradigm of the beta male, you can pick up my book, The Man Crisis, as well. And both of these books are available in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com. And they're also available at other online booksellers like Drafted Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And if you'd like to see me make more videos talking about the man crisis, you can drop a donation to the Patreon, the PayPal, or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this spooktacular Spinsterella story. Pick up your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited, The Man Crisis. Learn why so many men are struggling to find their way in an increasingly gynocentric world in The Man Crisis. Get your copy of The Man Crisis in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.